Hi, I'm Dave. Let me tell you a story. The mystery of house number 2. 2 strangers, a house we couldn't find, and a laugh neither of us expected. Holding our 1-year-old daughter in her arms, my wife called out, "There's 2 big cars full of black people parked out in front of our house. You better check it out." It was a quiet, sunny, but cold Sunday morning in sleepy Huber Heights, Ohio, just north of Dayton, circa 1992. I opened the front door to have a look. Yup, my wife was right. 2 big Cadillac-style vehicles full of passengers, all black. 2 carloads of people talking and making hand gestures behind the tightly closed car windows. I didn't recognize any of them. I self-checked. Let's see, I don't have any black friends, and I didn't invite any black people over today. So who are these folks and why are they parked in front of my house? I shrugged it off. No big deal. Maybe they're here to visit one of the neighbors. Moments later came a knock at the door. I opened it and a pretty black woman in her late 20s stood before me and spoke. "We're looking for number 2 Mardi Gras, but we can't find it. Do you know where it is?" I replied, "Well, we're number 1 Mardi Gras, so it must be next door." "We checked," she said. "It's not." "Really?" I exclaimed. "Let's have a look." I walked out into the front yard past the 2 crowded Cadillacs, looked left, then across the street, scanning house numbers. Sure enough, no number 2. I became confused. That doesn't make any sense. You'd think number 2 would be right next to number 1. Crazy! My new lady friend agreed. "Yeah, that's why we parked in front of your house. We figured if your house is number 1, then number 2 has got to be nearby, but it's not." The 2 of us stood there contemplating this mystery while a dozen curious eyes peered at us from inside the Cadillacs. Our pause ended when she glanced up at me, moving her head slowly from left to right, then mumbled under her breath, "Why not?" and finally asked, "Would it be okay if I used your telephone?" Remember, this is 1992. Dot matrix printers were the rage. Computer monitors were huge, fat, bulky, take up your whole desktop. And if you wanted to call someone, you used something called a telephone, a bulky device wired to the wall with a curly cable attached to the receiver. Her request made perfect sense. With no hesitation, I replied, "Sure." I figured that's a great idea. She can call the people she's trying to visit and end this mystery. They're probably going to tell her that she got the street wrong or the wrong side of town, because otherwise it makes no sense. House number 2 is nowhere in sight. I opened the front door. We both entered and walked to our small kitchen where the telephone sat proudly mounted on the wall. She picked up the receiver and paused before dialing. With the sincerity of a courtroom witness, she said, "I really appreciate this." Her tone made it clear she couldn't believe I let her into my home and let her use my phone. She smiled and continued her testimony. "I want you to know something." Then she dropped the 2-ton punchline. "I'm not a mass murderer." I loved it. Her one little statement captured the moment. No long drawn-out explanations, no diatribes, no sermons, just a simple, perfectly timed, perfectly delivered, deadpan statement explaining everything in one go. Operating off her lead, I looked back at her wide animated eyes, smiled from ear to ear, and replied, "Well, it's your lucky day." Then I continued with my attempt to keep pace with her cleverness. "I'm not a mass murderer either." We took time to laugh a lot, laughing and laughing. I thought, we're having a good time here. This is turning out to be a lot more fun than my usual Sunday morning in Huber Heights. Observing her beaming face and easy, natural laughter, I concluded, she's having a good time too. I watched her dial the phone. She struck a classic 1992 pose, left shoulder pinning the receiver to her ear, left hand holding a small slip of paper with the number, and her right index finger spinning the 7-digit number into the rotary dial. She waited, then someone picked up. "Where's your house?" "We're at 1 Mardi Gras now." "Really?" "No way." "Okay, got it. We'll be right there." She hung up the phone and exclaimed, "This street loops back onto the main road. Number 2 is at the other end." Yes, Mardi Gras Street is shaped like a big C. We're at one end of the C and number 2 is at the other. Why? Did the city road planners flunk Basic House Numbering 101? Who knows? Who cares? At least we solved the mystery of the missing home. My new friend left the house, walked across our front yard, and climbed into one of the 2 waiting, crowded Cadillacs. As the caddies pulled away, I waved, and in return received a barrage of waving hands and smiling faces from every window. Yes, we solved the mystery of house number 2 on Mardi Gras Street. The house wasn't missing after all. We just needed a little persistence and a laugh neither one of us expected to find it.